Come on in. Okay, so you want to see the house. This is the formal dining room, and it's really tiny.
Well, or this room in here. Yeah.
Oh, this is my utility room. When I was still working, that picture there that you're taking a picture of, I admired it at Innes Furniture, which is a real nice furniture store, and they went and presented it to me at a meeting. Isn't that the nicest thing in the world? Somewhere there's a picture of that. Somewhere. I have no clue. Isn't that sweet?
Okay.
Okay, so here's my teacups. The same friend that gave me that picture had a huge tea for all of our friends, and we all brought things like lemon curd and tea sandwiches and everything, and we all brought these different kinds of teacups, and we fell in love with having teas. And I just knew someday my children would love teas, and my grandchildren. So far, not one has fallen in love with my teacups and my teapots. So when I go to heaven, they're all getting one, whether they want one or not. And then these are my dishes, my everyday dishes. And these are someday going to be Laura's. Not too soon, Laura. No. And I think I got this house in 1999. And it was kind of funny. I'd always lived in the north end of town and had a very small house, and it was kind of falling apart a little bit. And then my friend said, "What are you going to do when you retire?" And I said, "Oh, I always kind of wanted a little small place, but nice." And she said, "Well, let me look." And she called me one day and she said, "Oh, Dixie, we've got an empty piece of property, and I want you to come see it." And I said, "Where is it?" And she said, "Eagle." And I said, "Oh my gosh, that's way too far away. I don't want to go clear to Eagle." And so she said, she just got in her car, came, said, "Get in." So I got in, she drove out. She said, "You can have any piece of this property out here for $29,900. And I said, "Oh my gosh." And she said, "Walk around, let me know." And so I said, "Can I have that second lot?" And she said, "Why in the world would you want that? There's big lots over there." And I said, "Well, Rita, it's got a Stonybrook, and I live on Stonybrook now, and it's got a big pond." And she said, "I didn't even know we had that." I said, "Well, you can have it back if you want." She said, "No." So her husband's a builder. He said, "I'll build you one, Dixie, $152,000, including the lot." And so I said, "Awesome." And so that's how I got this house, and I love it.
Holy cow.
These things up above are my mom's dishes, most of them. And that rooster, when my mom died, Nancy went across the street so Terry Lynn could be alone with my mom and kind of say her final goodbyes. And her house was empty at the time, so Brittany was little, and Nancy went and bought this rooster, and Brittany promptly knocked it over and broke all the little crowns off of that rooster. And the rooster was like $100 and some. And Nancy was furious, and she said, "Oh my gosh, I just spent all my money on that rooster." I said, "Never mind, I'll find you one." I searched everywhere, found the rooster, bought her a brand new rooster, and all those crowns are all glued in. Is that something? And then Lauren Scott gave me that little chicken house up there, and that little chicken. And you gave me that over there with the eggs in it.
I don't remember any of that.
And this was from the old house.
Oh yeah, that is.
Do you remember this, Laura? And it says, "Thank God for dirty dishes, they have a tale to tell. While others may go hungry, we're eating very well. With home and health and happiness, I shouldn't want to fuss, for by the stack of evidence, God's been good to us." And I love that. And I know someday everybody's going to say, what is this? Is this what she spanked her children with? No, they're still looking for the wooden spoon to spank you with. I'd always say, you go find that wooden spoon, you're going to get a spanking. And then they didn't get a spanking because nobody could find the spoon. But what this is you pull a rack out of your oven on this, and you hook it on, and because the oven's hot. And on this end, you push the hot thing back in. Is that clever?
Oh, do you want to do this and show her?
No.
No, open that and show her.
No.
Okay, all right. Okay.
And then this yesterday, my darling, darling, adorable grandson, Jacob, came and gave me this, and he put it in. Now, Jacob's not a small boy. He's like big and strong, and he fit himself under this and put all of this in. Can you believe that? Is that the sweetest thing? And I love it. And then Scott put this up. He and Jake put this up for me. And that I had found in a secondhand place. And it was like, oh, I have to have that. And so they put it in, and I love it. I simply love it. And what else here?
This clock.
This is the room you
Oh, that's a clock I once gave to Shelley for mowing the lawns and stuff for me, and she promptly gave it back because she didn't like it, which is funny. And so I loved it because you always get something you love. And so I said, oh, I'll keep it. And then this picture over here is my sister's husband, Terry Selyustad, and he is the most wonderful man. And then this is, I believe, great-grandmother's, I think that's her Bible. And
Clark?
I think, and the glasses there. And then this one up here is the old farm type thing, and it's got my dad's name on the mailbox. Is that sweet?
Okay.
Do you want to go in the living room, or do you want to go outdoors?
Let's go in the living room.
Okay. This is the living room. And this is all the ivory from Alaska.
Do we need to turn the TV off?
Oh, yes, we do. Sorry, honey.
Well, it's just such a normal, always have TV on.
You know, it is, isn't it, though? And let's see. This is where you find me mostly, is in this recliner, which I love. And this has been here in the other house forever. Laura, wouldn't you say it's probably 34, 35 years old, this couch? And then on the back of the couch, my mother hand crocheted this huge, huge thing that we all snuggle up and keep warm in the winter time. And I love it. There was a place in Nampa that had clocks. It was going out of business. And I said, oh, Mother, I've always wanted a grandfather clock. She said, well, let's go listen. And she was telling me all the things you need to know about a grandfather clock. You need to know the sides of them so that you can see the beauty of the clock and the chimes. We listened to every chime everywhere. Finally settled on this. And I love it, too.
Okay.
And then if you come down the hall, everything in this house is kind of feminine until you get to this room. And my dad did macrame when he had his heart attack, and he macrameed tables and lamps, and Jacob said he kind of wanted those. So that's what's in this room. But there's a whole stack of stuff that goes to the garage, and I'm embarrassed it's over there in the corner, so come on in and look.
Well, I can move it out.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Are you sure?
Oh, yeah.
Just move it here to the end of the hall.
We'll come this way so you don't see it.
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't even see it.
And there's the grandfather, Jake's grandfather made those lamps.
Great-grandfather.
Oh, gosh, it would be.
Yeah.
His great-grandfather. And then he also made these tables, and I stacked them one on top of the other, but they're usually used for end tables. And and I love it.
And the chairs are mine.
And the chairs on tape are Lauren Scott's. And then when I went to the temple, I saw this picture in the matron's office, and I fell in love with it. And it kind of reminded me a bit of Laura, a bit of Brianna, and I was just like, I love that, I've got to have it. And I found it, and I got it. And now the rest of the house is feminine. That's the only masculine room in the house. So this is where, when Laura and Scott come to visit, this is where Laura and Scott stay.
The guest room.
The guest room. And that picture up there, the lining in the picture, I put their old wallpaper from the old house is the lining, the little flowers that go around it. And these two lamps on either side, when I got them at an antique store, they were 50 years old then, and I have had them since probably 1990 something, and so they're old. And
who gets those?
Dixie furniture.
Oh, and the furniture I have is hilarious because this is Dixie furniture. I mean, that's the actual manufacturer of it. It's Dixie furniture, which is what the girls grew up with, is this kind of furniture. And,
You had a piano like that.
oh, yes. Yeah, there's an old picture somewhere, I don't know. We made a white and gold piano, and it had a tuning date of 1857 on it. I took the whole thing apart, repainted the whole thing, glazed it, put new keyboards on it, and it was beautiful. And Terry Lynn's friend was getting married, or was it yours? It was Darcy.
Yeah, Darcy Lyons.
And so she said, oh, can I take the piano? It's going to be in the park. We'll take excellent care of it.
You've got a truck.
And we've got a truck, and we'll just put it out there. It'll be beautiful. And so I said, of course you can. So I come to the wedding, and Laura goes, Mom, just a minute, has Mom gone through the line yet to say hello to the bride? And I said, no, I haven't gone through yet. She said, oh, don't let her go through. I want to talk to her. On the way to the wedding, the piano fell out on Ustick Road, smashed itself to smithereens, and you could hear all this kind of music, bring, as it hit the pavement, and it made the newspapers. And they said, if you heard a lovely chime.
We should have saved that paper of it.
Oh, we'll have to find it. I bet you can. It's somewhere. And then in the hallway here, Laura's kind of got, there's a black kind of a curio hutch. And it's just got just mementos from days gone by in it. And then this is the guest bathroom to the right, that nobody ever wants to use the towels because they're too fancy.
No. So you don't allow them to use the tub.
Oh.
You got to say something about that.
And the tub, I think, has to have the water turned on twice. Because I want it for good resale for my kids, so I make them all go in my bathroom and take the baths. And they're also obedient. They do it. They're so good. Now here's my bedroom. And it kind of looks like Scarlett O'Hara's bedroom. There's a queen-size bed. The door there goes to the outside backyard. And everybody always asks, who did your bedspread? That's so beautiful. I always say Grandma Spiegel because it came from Spiegel catalog, and I love it. And then I'm a person who, in her job, always had to kind of dress fancy and have a lot of jewelry. I love jewelry. So I have jewelry cases just filled with jewelry. No matter which one you open, they're just filled with jewelry. And then, let's see, shall we go in the bathroom? This is the private throne room. And the picture on this wall was my mother's. She loved it because it reminded her of the twins, of Jeannie. And then there's a picture of them before the bath with the maid getting ready to get them all cleaned up and get in the tub. And then this picture is after the bath where they're warming up by the fireplace. And so this is my bathroom. And the walk-in closet that if you dare try to walk in, I may kill you. So go out this door at night. It's so cool because nobody can actually see you. And you're totally covered. And so if you look to the left, this is the Stonybrook that the street I live on is called. And usually there's ducks. And sometimes we have a blue heron that comes, and squirrels and everybody, but nobody decided to come today. And I love this. Nobody can build in front of me. Usually on this patio it's filled with flowers, but it's fall now. So I've taken the flowers, except for that one, into the house and into the garage and try to bring them out next spring. For each one of my daughters, I gave them each one a complete set of china and either Waterford crystal or Czechoslovakian crystal. And I gave it to them when they were married. And so I decided I wanted to do the same thing for my granddaughters. So these are the 3 sets I chose, which they may or may not want, but each one has a complete set of chinaware and goblets and Waterford and whatever. So here you go here. This one's called Lady Carlisle, and it's very Victorian, very, very sweet, and I love it. This one's Old Country Roses, and this one you can use for Christmas, you can use it for St. Patrick's Day, for Valentine's Day, for any kind of an occasion. And it's got, I even have Christmas things to go with that one. And then this one is one that came from Macy's, and I'm sure I'm blind enough. It's a Mikasa piece, and it's just beautiful. And then they could buy separate little pieces of china in color to go for bowls and things with florals on them, and it should be just beautiful. I left them a little picture up there of a set very much like this and what they did with it in a magazine. It was gorgeous. So I hope someday, somehow, somebody will love these. If not, they just go to my daughters again and they'll have 2 sets of china. How would that be? So, and then this is what I gave the girls. And so Laura has a set, Shelley has a set, Becky has a set, and Terry Lynn has a different set, but they all have china, which has just been my pleasure to do this for them. And I just want them to know how much I love them. Anyway, that's it.